Welcome back to the lab. Today we do some things. We shift some cars, I do some more stuff on the march, and we make a start on the BMW, the blue BMW with the 1.5 JZ in it. Let's have a look. Alright, so it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but that's fine. It's either going to get covered with fake carbon fibre or it's going to turn into a mould for real carbon fibre. And I'm thinking this is actually going to get welded together here to do away with the doubler in behind it and all the screws, and possibly this section here will carry on through to here, and that would all become monocoque, one piece. I said cock. Here's the other side, and just out of interest, in case people wanted to know, that's what that weighs. It's not light. It's got, pretty sure that's 2 mil thick on the edge there, to give it some guts to strengthen it up, because I found this edge here was buckling out with everything that was going on, the aerodynamic loads. So, and then these are pretty thick washers that are on here. They're not, none on the outside there, but they're not flimsy little puppies. These are heavy duty washers. So I didn't weigh the other one. Probably can weigh the other one just to see how much we're saving. That should be more or less the same weight, and then the difference is only the bit at the bottom here. So let's do that. 153 grams. Absolutely not worth the effort if it was just based on trying to get rid of some weight. It's not a 5-minute job to do this, and to do it properly you'd have to make that whole thing in one piece, and it starts getting even harder. We do have the Rock 2000 playing today, so that's good value. It's relatively nice weather. Have ordered some parts for the bits that I need for Abby to put her on her feet. Won't be able to get those till tomorrow just because of the way things are working out, which is unfortunate. I wanted those today, but we'll see what we can do. We'll swap that over for the other project that we've got as soon as we can get it on its feet. There we go, other one done. Just for argument's sake, if we were to put that on exactly as it is, I guess there's a bit more to come off to smooth this out and get a tiny little bit lighter, obviously. So that's what we had before. 1,170 grams. Oh, don't know if I'll be able to read the scales. I guess I'll carefully put that on there. Oh, we can't read it. Hang on. Yeah, 1,000. So we've lost 112 grams or something. Not really a lot, is it? Probably can. Potentially could cut this off, weld that directly onto that edge. It would lose some strength and it would rely on the weld to hold it, so I probably won't bother with that. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it's not bad. I can live with that. I need to look up the rules. Pro Open and NZ Superlap Series, we run under Schedule A, but Schedule SL for Superlap. So things like Aero, we're allowed a little bit more. Whether it's quite as much as that, I'm not sure. We can definitely go wider. Then I can't fit the car on the trailer. There's maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 mils on each side. Might be a little bit more, let's say 30 or 40, and be optimistic to get the car on the trailer and between the guards. So if I put canards out here, or dive planes, or whatever we want to call them, if I put wings, aero things out here any wider than that, they have to be removable to get the car on off the trailer, or I have to build a new trailer. And even then you wouldn't want them hanging out too far, because I'll knock them off on the letterbox on the way in and out of the driveway. I put a little bit more of a curve on the base of that one. It's actually quite hard to see it on the camera, isn't it, because of the shininess here. There you go. A little bit more of a curve on that one, so it kind of lines up with this panel a bit better. I can give that a bit more of a tweak to have less of a transition from there to there, just to make it look a bit more thought out, a bit more planned. That side's just a tiny little bit sharper, maybe. Maybe I'm just seeing things, imagining things. I priced up a new front bumper today, and it's not even close to $200 for a new bumper. It's my price is quite a lot less than that. So given the clips are all busted at the top of here, and the spare one that I've got, the whole back edge is missing. This one's got a dent in it, and it's got a mark there from when the whole front end was trying to pull down from the downforce, and the tow hook was staying put. That's what that mark right there is. So I mean, we know that the aero was working. It was just the car wasn't, the structure that was holding it was not good enough at the time. Whether that was, might have been when one of the bolts came loose on one of the stays, splitter stays, and it sort of let it go. It could have been a Pokekoe when I had the car set up too low and I ground off the bolts underneath. That was interesting, and pretty much ate the whole front of the splitter. Never mind. Right, it's well past lunchtime, but I'm going to do that, and then we'll see what's happening with our materials we're waiting for the other car. If we haven't got any, do something else. Dive planes maybe. A momentous occasion. Well, I mean, it could fail, I guess. Still haven't got the bits that we need to sort out shuffling cars. So we have currently got blocks of wood. This will be the first time this puppy has rolled on its new setup. Look at that. Oh, I don't know if I want to video this, but oh, yeah, I think I'll put the phone down and take it easy there. In fact, I might slip the jack under it and do it that way. Sure as eggs, those blocks of wood will collapse and we'll scratch something. We'll crash the tyre into the flare and buckle the rear guard, and then I'll own a Barina. Rolls really easily. A lot easier than that thing there, which has got the wheels back on just to get them out of the way. The great post-lockdown migration of vehicles successfully completed. Nobody died. So swap these two out. Kind of swap them around. Put the Barina outside. Drag the BMW from site B into here. You guys will remember this. Are we going to call... We've got a name for everything else. We can't just call it the BMW. Is it Barry? Barry the BMW? Doesn't sound very appropriate, does it? 100% completed our fantastic high quality workmanship install of all these components here, including the cardboard boxes. That's how it's done, chaps. That is how it's done. If I was looking for that, that's where it was. Good job I wasn't looking for it. So I think I might have got as far as unlocking the ECU. I've definitely put a program in it that should be a bass tune enough to run the 1.5 JZ. It's a 1 JZ head on, a 2 JZ bottom end, I think. Pretty sure that's what it is. I'll get corrected, someone will correct me. We're putting these guys do good gear. Putting all these things in here. Ken Lambda, they're awesome. Where am I going to put that? It won't slide and fall on the floor. There we go, that's safe. We got this puppy here, which is an idle control valve. Got that through our mate Calvin at the Cartoon Company. I have no idea where he gets it from. Got one of those because all we've got on here is mechanical throttle and no idle control system. You can do it with timing to a degree. No pun intended there, but you can do it with spark timing to a point, but you can't really control the idle 100% successfully. The proper idle control valve you can. Now there's no ports on this manifold for that. This is a plasma man manifold. So what we're going to do here is we've got to take the manifold off. We've got to take the manifold off anyway to put the harness in properly, because the Wiring Specialties harness is designed to run along under the manifold. So I've got to pull that off, modify it to suit the idle air system. We'll hide all that under the plenum. There's heaps and heaps of room under here for it. So we've got to have, basically you've got to put a hole in here somewhere for the air to go in. You've got to put the valve in between that hole there and the other side of the throttle on the boosted side of the intake system. So it could be on the outlet for the turbocharger, or that side of the intercooler, or this side of the intercooler, or on the plumbing that goes up there, as long as it's on the boosted side. We've got silicon here that comes down through the chassis to a pipe with our blow-off valve and through to the intercooler. So somewhere in this general area here is going to be a suitable place. We'll do it with, I think it's got dash 10 fittings on there. It's kind of what they feel like. 10s, yeah, I'd say they're 10s. So we'll do AN10 weld-on fitting. Look, you can see it's a straight line down through there. So we'll put one down there. We'll do a 45-degree hose end, and we'll come up and we'll come underneath the plenum and stick that on there and do something with all this wiring, which will be probably the wrong plug for that idle control thing. More than likely the wrong length wiring, unless we absolutely fluke it. And sort out getting everything to fit inside that box, etc, etc. So plenty of things to do. The engine's been rebuilt apparently. Obviously it hasn't been run, but it's been rebuilt. It's ready to go, we think. The things like the turbo intake tube need powder coating, and there's a bunch of other little bits and bobs, but the goal is, of course, we've got to put that in. That was another thing that I picked up on just before lockdown, before we put it in the other garage. There's a bung here, but it's no good because there's a big cover that comes over here and the sensor will hit that. So we can probably shift that. Well, we have to shift that somewhere else. Might as well take that right off, put another one on somewhere. You get one with your CAN Lambda kit. So another thing to do. 5 very long minutes later, an hour, that's that removed from VAR. Beautiful plasma manifold. It's so dirty. How did it get so dirty? This was all brand new last time I saw it, and look at it. You know, it hasn't run, hasn't been driven. Anyway, it's not a big problem. It's all nice and clean inside, so it's good. So we've got our idle control valve, idle control mounting block / manifold. So literally all this unit does is lets air come from that side of the throttle to that side of the throttle to make it idle. The bigger the duty cycle you put on this, longer the duty cycle, the more air flows through that little hole that valvey thingy is controlling inside there. This block is basically just a dead end, so it comes in through that fitting that's behind my hand there. Can't go through there, so it has to come through this hole that's in the middle of your screen, goes through the idle control valve and goes back through that hole that's in the middle of your screen and goes through there. Now, potentially could modify this or make something very, very similar. That's probably the better way to do it, is to make something near enough the same, but slightly different, so that we have a fitting that bolted on the top, but on the other side, instead of having a fitting, we have a hole. Then on the other side of this manifold here, we machine an area that's perfectly flat, put 2 screw holes for it, gasket, bolt it onto the manifold. Then we don't have to do any welding. Air comes in through there, goes to the idle control valve, goes through the hole into the other side of this, the bottom of the inlet manifold. Which actually sounds a little bit thin to do that. But I might look into that. I might look into if there's a different version of this. I'll ring Mr. Kelvin. Well, my clock doesn't reckon it's 5 o'clock, but I heard the 5 o'clock news ages ago. But look, it's not 5 o'clock yet, Kelvin. I'll give you a call. Let's see if we can get a slightly different one of those. Hopefully we get our extrusion tomorrow for Barina. and also I've ordered a whole heap of aluminium to carry on with this, but I've got to leave this alone, hands off it until the weekend, and then smash it in the weekend. So I'm pretty sure what I'm going to do is cut the bumper there, and we're going to come up here like this, and that's all going to be aluminium, that whole piece, and I'll just do it all in one massive great big piece. And then hopefully if it works out and looks nice and I'm happy with it, we'll make it out of carbon fibre. But it might not happen in the short term. That might be a long term thing, because many dollars in time. Right, cheers, bye.